Good evening. Welcome to Republic. I'm Rhythm. This is another big legal victory for Republic TV editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami. The Delhi High Court quashes the summons that were issued against Arnab in a defamation case that was filed during the coverage of JNU when anti-India slogans were raised. The case was linked to Arnab's broadcast viewers in 2016. We've now got a copy of the Delhi High Court's verdict. It's a 35-page judgment coming from the Delhi High Court. Justice Krishna has now written in her judgment that in this detailed judgment, she gives out details as to what constitutes criminal defamation. I want to give our viewers a background. The respondent in this case, that is the person who filed the defamation case, had said that there was one word had been used against him, that was gunda. The High Court has gone into great details to say that these proceedings have to be quashed because the debate that was done by Arnab was in good faith with no intention to harm or defame the respondent or any other person. The Delhi High Court has said, where the conduct itself is violent, merely describing it in strong terms does not mean that polite language needs to be used for defamation. The Delhi High Court has said Arnab's debate did not invent facts. It only directly addressed the respondent, reported the conduct of the respondent, the documented failure of the authorities to enforce law and order. This is a big victory not only for our editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami and the Republic TV channel, but also for the freedom of press. Because of every person against whom language or a word is used here and there in a coverage to try and impress upon the viewers the seriousness of the coverage that happened during JNU and the kind of case that it was, then it would be a shame on every press freedom case and also the judiciary. And as this as I'm reading out these paragraphs, it's so beautifully said. I'm also going to try and go across to Phoenix Legal's Aman Aminav, who's now joining us on the phone line. Aman, the language the Supreme Court has used is brilliant in this 35-page order. They've said that the continuation of these proceedings against Arnab would be an abuse of the process of the court. They've also gone into details as to saying that the debate by Arnab was in good faith with no intention to harm or defame the respondent or any other person, Aman.
Yes, Rhythm, you're right. And that is the exact language which the Honorable High Court has used. And as you would recall that in the afternoon when we had discussed, when we spoke, I had pointed out that the primary arguments that we had raised before the Honorable Delhi High Court was that there was no imputation which was made against the gentleman in question. Secondly, there was no intention to defame. Thirdly, there was enough evidence before we posted the story about his own involvement in the incident, considering in the incident involving Kanhaiya Kumar before the Patiala House Court. So those were the primary reasons which guided the Honorable High Court to arrive at this conclusion, and rightly so. It has again upheld the principles which has been affirmed in several cases by the Honorable Supreme Court.
I also think, Aman, that the way they have placed reliance on cases and what they have said in the present case, that the only allegations were that he had used the words gunda and hooligan against him, which was defamatory. The court says that's not true. In fact, the court says hooligan refers to a violent person who fights or causes damage. Hooligan is only a young man who engages in rowdy behavior, and they also say that the debate of 2016 must be viewed in the context of the violent incidents that had occurred at Patiala House Court and the Supreme Court's repeated interventions to ensure security. I remember at that time in the Patiala House Court, the kind of violence that was being seen, the Supreme Court had Aman intervened. Furthermore, the High Court says the extensive media coverage, the complainant's own admission regarding his violent conduct must be considered. I think the most brilliant lines, Aman, come from the Delhi High Court when they say that any continuation of criminal proceedings in this case would be an abuse of the process of the court itself.
That's right, Rhythm. That's absolutely correct. This has to be nothing but an abuse, because just extracting or extrapolating a couple of words out of context and trying to give it a color cannot create the offense of defamation under 499. It has to be substantiated by evidence, and there has to be a real cause. You cannot manufacture something out of thin air and go to court and try and malign somebody.
I completely agree with you, Aman. And I also want to get, in a sense, Aman, as I'm looking at what the Supreme Court said, from the Delhi High Court said, I beg your pardon, the Delhi High Court Justice Krishna's bench has also said Arnab's debate did not invent facts, nor did it rely on rumor. Rather, it directly addressed the respondent, reported conduct, and the documented failure of authorities to enforce law and order. You know, because we go back to 2016, we remember what happened, and on just the basis of one word, the respondent has been trying to hang this case on the head of Republic TV and journalists. So what the larger point I'm trying to make here is, Aman, cases like this, when they come, it clearly shows us how politically motivated and vendetta-driven people can try and use the corridors of justice for ulterior motives.
Absolutely right, Rhythm. This judgment sends a clear message to all the politically motivated people as well as unsocial elements that are there, that they cannot take the law in their hands and you know, I mean, and manufacture dispute out of thin air.
Absolutely. Aman, I thank you for that judgment. I thank you for having been our counsel in the case, along with Senior Advocate Malvika Trivedi, and for getting us that victory. Viewers, we move on to the other big focus right now. Breaking news coming in. The Uttar Pradesh ATS has taken action against British cleric accused of promoting Islamicization in India. The cleric's two madrasas and an NGO have been accredited, but now face severe consequences, including the sealing of one madrasa, revocation of the NGO's recognition, and an FIR filed against the cleric. The ATS report alleges the cleric acted as a broker in collecting foreign funds in the name of madrasas, leading to charges under Section 318, subsection 4 of the NBFC, that is cheating, and other provisions of FEMA of the 1999 Act. Abhay is joining us live on the story. I beg your pardon. Ajay is joining us live on the story. Ajay, this action was taken based on a detailed investigation report by the ATS. It levels serious allegations against the Maulana for promoting Islamicization in India. But these are very serious facts that are coming in. And the fact that now we've seen the names, foreign NGOs, foreign donations, clearly shows something more sinister was what the madrasas were actually indulging in.
Definitely, it's a very shocking information coming out from Sant Kabir Nagar. The important part is that this Maulana, what he was trying to do is that he was collecting financial resources from various Western countries, including his travel towards Pakistan also. So he was not just collecting financial resources, he was trying to manipulate and Islamicize the country, and that is what he was doing. And while ATS was again and again getting the detail regarding his activities, they booked an FIR, and apart from this, they have, because of the detail from ATS, the local authorities have seized his madrasa. So important part is that this Maulana was staying in London and he was traveling towards Pakistan and the other rival countries, and he was collecting resources against a country. And what he was doing, Sant Kabir Nagar and the other districts which are connected towards Nepal, the border area of country also. So this is what is happening right now, and the investigating agencies are not just doing a FIR on him only, they are also collecting the data, the trial. They are looking after the trial of money, where he was getting resources and where he was distributing these financial resources to convert individuals into Islam. So this is what is happening right now, and more details are awaiting. We are also communicating with the higher authorities in Lucknow in bureaucracy, and they are also telling that this is a very high profile case, and because this Maulana is staying in London and he is a citizen of United Kingdoms, they are trying to communicate with the authorities in United Kingdom also.
Thank you, Ajay, for giving us those details. It's a top focus. We're going to continue tracking right here.